Bankruptcy gives people who are saddled with debt an opportunity to get out from under it. So when I mean saddled with debt, it means that you can't afford the interest rate. So your amount of debt that you're paying keeps growing even though you're making minimum payments or small payments that aren't covering the interest, so you can't actually pay down your debt. Your debt over time is just growing. That's why bankruptcy might be a legitimate option for you. For example, let's say you have credit card debt that's worth $10,000. So the interest rate, the APR, annual percentage rate on your credit card debt is 25%. So after a year and you don't make a payment on that $10,000 debt, you would owe $12,500. So let's say you are making the payments. However, there's an interest rate of 25%. So each month you have to pay at least $209, because that just covers the interest, $1 over the interest, that allows you to start paying down your debt. So if you're paying less than that, you will fall more and more behind on your debt. So that's when you need to start to look into bankruptcy options and talking to an attorney who specializes in bankruptcy. So there are two specific types of filing of bankruptcy that people use as consumers or as private individuals. One is Chapter 7, most popular, as well as Chapter 13. So Chapter 7 is basically when most of your debt is almost forgiven. However, you have a clean slate, but there's a chance that your property can be taken away because they use that property to pay some of the creditors that you owe. The negative impact on your credit score lasts up to 10 years. Chapter 13 is a little different because the negative impact lasts up to 7 years, and you actually can negotiate different payment plans with your creditors. So of course you have to have reliable income in order to negotiate this repayment plan. Some things to note about bankruptcy. It's a process that takes up to 6 months. You have to work with an attorney, and your creditors have to work with your attorney. Most times you actually have to stand in court. Secondly, it costs up to $500 to $1,000. It significantly lowers your credit score. Talking about close to 200 points. So I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, okay, so what are the benefits? Like, why would I take out bankruptcy? Well, you want to file for bankruptcy when you literally know you can't make at least the amount of interest that you're incurring each month, and it's basically growing disproportionately to your income, where there's no way you can afford it. And it's better to file for bankruptcy now than to wait 10 years later and all of a sudden you owe $50,000 versus $10,000. Now granted, with the lower credit score, it affects future interest rates that you'll be able to qualify for phone bills, mortgage rates. Sometimes you may have limited job opportunities because you have a lower credit score. But it's better to take that hit when you're younger rather than to wait when you're older and being in a worse financial situation. So one thing about bankruptcy that you need to know is that the negative impact diminishes over time. So you won't have to worry about your score being lower 200 points the whole 7 years. If you are consistent and you're making your payments, your full payments, you're keeping your balance of your credit cards low, you will be able to grow your credit score. And then last but not least, very important, some things can't be discharged via bankruptcy. Of course, student loan debt, you have to pay those. No way around those. Secondly, alimony, and another popular one is child support. So you still will have to pay those things. I know a lot of millennials, a lot of folks in Generation Z, even some baby boomers are suffering from a lot of debt, and I just wanted to point out that bankruptcy is a legitimate option. If you can wait the 7 years or 10 years, maybe start considering this as something you could do to get out from under your debt. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this advice is helping someone, and that everyone is starting to have more conversations with the people they're around about money, because a lot of folks, we're suffering or we're handling similar situations. So let's share those lessons learned. Share, like, comment. Let's get your money up. Let's talk about money.